welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about all things D23. And if you don't know what D23 is, let's take you on a brief tour. So we have a lot of tips, tricks, and recommendations that we're going to be giving you guys today, and hopefully this will help any of you who are new to D23, or if you kind of forgot stuff that happened at D23 in 2017, you guys are going to have some good tips and ideas when you go into D23 this year so that you guys will be ready, prepared, good to go. I'm all about preparing and planning. That's my life, that's my job. Proper planning prevents poor procedure. The 5 Ps. Hello? Can I help you? D23 Expo is coming up this year, 2019, August 23rd to 25th. We are basically 1 month away. Hopefully I'm gonna post this like exactly a month out, but we'll see. You guys know I'm not very good at my posting dates, but oh well. D23 Expo is back for 2019. It happens every 2 years, and the last one that I went to and the first one I went to was the one in 2017. If you guys don't know, the D23 Expo happens at the Anaheim Convention Center every 2 years, and they've been doing that ever since 2009. So do the math. This year is going to be the 10th anniversary for D23 Expo. So we all are waiting to see if they're gonna do something super special this year. I'm sure they are, so I'm really excited about that. I wanted to do this video for you guys so you could have some helpful tips and tricks if you guys are going to D23 this year, so that you guys can better plan your schedule, or if you didn't get tickets for 2019, then maybe in 2021 you guys will get tickets. So I know a lot of you have reached out to me and have said that you guys are going to be there, so I'm super excited to see if I can meet any of you that I've been talking to about this. If not, that's okay. I know everybody's schedules are going to be really crazy during this time. I know that I'm super excited for D23 this year. Again, it being the 10th anniversary, and last year I actually went alone. I was like, you know what, nobody else wants to go, I'm just gonna do this myself. So I went by myself to D23. Super weird, but at the same time really fun. I think I got to learn a lot about what you need to do when you're at D23. So I have a lot of helpful tips and helpful hints for you guys if you guys are a little weary or just not sure of exactly what you're gonna expect when you go to the expo, or what you should do as far as preparation for the expo. It will be held at the Anaheim Convention Center, which is just outside of the Disneyland Resort. You're like right there at the Hilton Anaheim and the Marriott. Those are all right there. So it's just behind California Adventure if you guys have never been to that convention center. So right on property. You can actually go and park at the Toy Story lot, if you guys know where that is. You can park at the Toy Story lot, which is what I did because I'm an annual pass holder. I parked there and I just walked across the street, so I didn't have to deal with convention parking. So yes, super convenient if you're gonna be at the parks, staying at those hotels, or if you're staying at any of the Anaheim Convention Center hotels. The convention does run from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. each day that it is open, and throughout the day they are gonna have tons of different panels, so many different events that are gonna be going on, and lots of fun stuff. Like, there is not gonna be a moment of downtime while you are at the expo. So make sure you guys get your rest every night because it is very tiring. I know it's just sitting and standing, but the environment there is just so upbeat. You will get very exhausted if you are not getting good sleep. The app has not come out yet. They did just release an email that was kind of an alert to everybody saying, hey, we're going to be releasing it soon, but they haven't released it yet. So hopefully really soon in the next couple weeks, we're going to see the app relaunch for the 2019 Expo, and then you guys can start planning out your schedule. I highly recommend planning out your schedule way in advance, just because if you don't, you're gonna notice that you may want to do 2 or 3 panels at the same time, and there is just no way to do that. You guys have to be very selective of the panels that you want to go see and some of the giveaways and events that you want to go to. I know in 2017 they were very good about doing giveaways and #1 pick panels at the same exact time. So, you know, if you want to go see the Marvel panel, they will be doing a limited edition giveaway during the Marvel panel. Disney is just really good at making you choose what your favorite thing is gonna be. So you better decide that in advance, because trying to figure that out day of could render you not going to any panels at all, because you do have to go there at least 30 minutes to an hour in advance. Some of them even 4 hours, some of them 12 hours, which is insane to me. And yes, people do that. They will get there way early in the morning. Like, we're talking 3 a.m. It's crazy. Speaking of that, so if you are trying to get to like the live action panel, they know that that is going to be one of the biggest ones. It always is. Same with the parks panel. Last Expo, the live action panel, they actually had people go in at 3 a.m. to like sleep in the hall so that they could get in line for the panel that wasn't gonna be until 2 in the afternoon. So people brought like sleeping bags and all that stuff and lined up in the hall next door so that then in the morning, or sorry, in the afternoon, they could go to the live action panel. Which, I mean, that is great. If that is something you want to do, then by all means, go do it. For me, that's probably the one I care the least about. So I definitely know I'm not going to be waiting in that. But just prepare yourself if you are going to be waiting in that, because you don't want to show up like at 1 o'clock for the 2 p.m. parks panel, because you're not getting it. People have been waiting 12 hours to get in there. Last year, they had people line up 4 hours in advance for the parks panel. But I mean, mind you, we did have a huge array of announcements that we knew were gonna happen. I was like, oh, if I get here 2 hours before the panel, I should be fine. No. There was a massive line that was still getting through, and basically they already had volunteers and workers and cast members kind of like letting everybody know, if you're getting in line for the parks panel, just to let you know, it closed 2 hours ago. So I was there 2 hours in advance. It had closed 2 hours ago. So that means it closed 4 hours before the actual panel is going to start. So this is just how crazy it gets. You really have to be aware of where you're going and what you're trying to do, because you may not get to it if you wait even an hour or 2 hours before. I thought I was perfectly fine. I didn't get to go to the parks panel, and that was actually the only one that I really cared to go to. But I did make a day of it, and that brings me into my next segment. If you are missing out on a panel and there's nothing else that you really want to do that day, always go to the parks during the expo hours. Because if you go to the parks during the expo hours, you are going to notice that there's nobody there. Because the majority of people that are annual pass holders or just big Disney fans are already going to be at the expo, locked into whatever it is they're about. And I just was like, you know what? I'm going to go over to Disneyland and just enjoy my day there. And it was dead. I walked right in. At the time it was the Cove Bar, which we always knew had a long line. I walked right up. I think there were like 10 people dining there midday on like a Sunday. Like, it was absolutely insane. So you do have options. So don't think, oh, just because I'm screwed out of going to my favorite panel that I'm not going to be able to do anything else. Like, no, if you have an annual pass or you already got park tickets, you can go and do that. It's right across the street, and it's usually going to be empty. But on the contrary, if you wait until after the expo closes, so we're talking, you know, it closes at 7, but usually after 6 p.m., that's when everybody from the expo is gonna head over to the parks, and then everything's gonna become crowded again. It's not gonna be too crowded again because the majority of the Disney goers are at the expo, but do understand it is not gonna be what it's like during the day. You will notice that it is going to be a lot more crowded at night. If there are certain panels that you're trying to go see, like on Friday, usually you want to plan out to go to the Disney Legends. That's how they kick off the event. Basically they have like the biggest names in Disney history go up there, like Stan Lee, RIP, and Oprah and Mark Hamill, and you know, like just all the Disney Imagineers and composers and all of them. They showcase them during the Disney Legends panel, and you know, Bob Iger gets up there and, you know, tells us everything about everything Disney, and so that one is definitely a crowded one. That one happens on Friday, and so if you are trying to get to that panel, just be aware it is probably going to be the hardest one to get into because it can get a little bit crazy. Yeah. Also, another thing, you can get in before opening. They don't really advertise that very well, but if you go like at 9 or 8:30, more than likely you're gonna be waiting in a massive line. I waited almost an hour and a half just to get into the venue on Saturday because I was like, oh, I'm just gonna show up at 9 o'clock. That was a total joke. And it was like a hot day. They actually had it in July, and we call SoCal's weather July Fry, because that's like the hottest times we usually have. And I was dying. I was like sweating my face off and could not wait to get in there. And we were just zigzagging around the whole entire convention center, places I've never seen before at the convention center, just trying to get into the front door. I think I walked like at least a mile out of the way in a zigzaggy line with everybody else trying to get in the main gates. So either go in closer to like 11, because I did that before. I walked straight in. There's no line. There's nobody was there. It was just, everybody's already in. So you go in 11, you don't have to wait at all. And then you do have to still wait if you get in early, but they do open a few things. The reason I found this out was I was actually talking to a mom that was there, and she said they actually got into the venue at 8 a.m. And I didn't even think that they would allow you to do that. But she was like, oh yeah, she's like, we were roaming the floor, and I think she said, like, she saw her daughter, like, ran into Tony Baxter, and he was just roaming the floor, and was like, hey, what's up? How's your day going? And I guess the daughter didn't know who it was, but the mom did, so the mom was, like, freaking out. And, but, yeah, like, basically, if you go early in the morning, you might have a better chance at, like, having it all to yourself, and possibly getting to see some of these like Disney legends and Disney celebrities rather than going, you know, right at 9 or at 8:30. Now I'm sure by this time it's a little too late for me to advise on any hotel stays, but maybe you haven't made a hotel stay yet. Good luck to you. I myself will be staying at the Disneyland Hotel. I booked that one as soon as the dates came out, because one, I never stay at the Disneyland hotels. I always stay at like the Hilton and the Marriott, all of those neighboring hotels, which I love. Don't get me wrong, I love those hotels. But I wanted to take the moment and stay at a Disneyland hotel. I didn't mind walk. I knew I was gonna have to probably walk in the morning, but that's fine. But yes, definitely I would recommend usually not staying at the park hotels. I would recommend staying at the convention center hotels because it is going to be a travel. You are going to have to walk at least a mile or two to get to the venue, and then you're going to be walking around all day for 10 hours. Yes, you do get to sit in the panels, but it's a lot of walking. I don't think people realize how much standing and walking there is. Also, if you're someone like me who has bad knees and bad hips, or like my dad who has a bad back, you do have to be aware you're not just able to walk into a panel and sit in that luxurious stadium. You do have to sit on the ground or stand for an hour to 2 hours, depending on which panel you're going to, and just sit there. Like, go get some snacks, sit down for like an hour and a half, and wait until they let people into the panel. Sometimes they are nice and they've cleared the original panel out, and then they have your next panel going in. That's always awesome. But sometimes they don't, and then you do have to wait basically until the start time to get your seats. This is always something I think that bothers a lot of people, but it's like the God honest truth. D23 is not for children. I know that they offer children pricing and all of that, but like I said last year in my video, it's really not for kids. I know that all of Disneyland is, and Disney itself is for kids, but this is kind of like taking your child to Disney school. They don't really care what Bob Iger did. All they want is to go and like meet Mickey Mouse, and they're just gonna sit in the panel and scream and get really annoying. I will say, kids don't really tend to bother me, but I was kind of annoyed that there were some parents that forced their child to just sit still for 10 hours each of those days. And you could just tell the kids were not having it. It was pissing the parents off, and I just highly advise against bringing your kids. Let it just be your adult thing. Because again, it is very adult oriented. You're just learning a lot about Disney stuff. Unless your child loves that and they're like all about, you know, watching documentaries and listening to interviews. That's all it is. It's not like you're gonna be sitting there with like, there are shows and stuff like that, so don't get me wrong there, but it's not like you're watching a fireworks show or there's a parade going on, you know, it's not like that's what's continuously happening. If you're bringing your child and you don't plan on going to any panels, then that's probably fine. Again, you still have to wait in tons of lines. You're getting limited edition merchandise. There's giveaways. There's a lot of stuff that is going on. But again, it's really geared towards the people that are, you know, wanting to see their favorite celebrity or their Disney legend or people in the music, and, you know, they want to see these people that have changed their lives, and I don't think children necessarily get that. It's just not a place for them. So I would advise against it, in all honesty. If you can have someone babysit your kids at home, I would do that. Just make it an adult trip. It's really not a place for kids. I know it's not Disney-like to not have children there, but again, just think of the audience that's there and the demographic they're trying to pull. It's really not for children. So just keep that in mind. Now, in 2017, they had the archives panel. Apparently, if you went to the archives panel, they gave out goodie bags to everyone in the audience, and I had heard that they were really good gifts. So I don't know if they're gonna have that same panel this year. Again, some panels do change, so it's not always gonna be the same panels every year. The main staples, of course. So in a way, if you're trying to get those giveaways, then you can do a panel and a giveaway at the same time if you go to the archives panel. So I guess just check and see if that's gonna be on this year's schedule, because they could do the same thing again. We don't know, but they could do the same thing again. Last expo, I realized very quickly that you cannot do like 3 major panels or major events in one day. It's just not gonna happen. So you do have to think about that. I would say maybe 1 or 2 that are your go-to favorites for that day, you can put on your schedule. Other than that, you just kind of have to go with the flow. It is not gonna work out if you try to do 3, 4, 5 panels throughout the day. Now, another thing I don't think anyone realized, so I am always someone like, I need food on hand. I always need like snacks, like my blood sugar just gets low and I get a little shaky or dehydrated very easily. There isn't like Disney food throughout the venue. There's a hot dog and churro cart or a pretzel cart, and there's like one every so often. I would say that there was maybe 5 in total, and obviously that poses an issue because there's gonna be a lot of people there. So like, I think I waited like 40 minutes just to get myself a pretzel. I would definitely recommend probably bringing snacks if you can bring snacks. I haven't even looked to see if they allow that into the venue, but definitely load yourself up in the morning on breakfast, because at the venue you probably are not going to get that much food. Now, outside the venue, they have rows of food trucks. But again, after every panel lets out, that place becomes a madhouse. It is like you're waiting 40 minutes to get your lunch. And then again, you're missing out on giveaways and shows and meet and greets, all of that. You know, Mark Hamill's doing a signing while you're waiting on your burger to be made. And so you really have to plan all this stuff out and allow yourself, I would say, at least an hour to an hour and a half to go and have lunch at the food trucks outside the venue, just because it is just so crowded there. 2017 was the first year that they ever sold out of every single day. So I have a feeling they're gonna do that this year. As of right now, the 3 days for adults and children are sold out, and Saturday for a single day ticket is sold out. So as of right now, all that is left is single day tickets for Friday and Sunday. On that note, my nose. I don't know, like, itchy. You hear that? If like you got like the inside of your nose that itches. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Just pick your nose? It's like, no, how do you discreetly scratch the inside of your nose? You don't. You just gotta stick it up in there. So yeah, I know there's a lot of things that we're interested in seeing and interested in hearing about and learning about. A big one that I think everybody has been talking about is gonna be the Disney Plus streaming service. I'm also interested and ready to see what big plans they have for Tomorrowland in both Disney World and Disneyland. I know that's not something that's really being talked about, but it's kind of like on one of those underground discussion boards. I think Tomorrowland really is stuck in kind of a time warp, and you know, they really do kind of just need to figure out what they're gonna be doing with Tomorrowland, because it doesn't feel very tomorrow-y anymore. I love that the Tron ride is gonna be coming to Walt Disney World. Stoked on that. They are going really fast with building that. We already got the dates for the Skyliner opening in Disney World. We know the dates for Star Wars Land, Galaxy's Edge opening in Disney World. Disneyland's already open. I've been like 3 or 4 times. Still not impressed. I want to hear from you guys what you guys are excited to hear about, or what you think could be said at D23 Expo. And make sure you leave a comment below, like this video if it helped you guys out, or if you want to see more like it. And definitely don't forget to subscribe. I know that I've been lagging pretty hard recently, just with work and a lot of stuff going on, but I'm definitely gonna make sure I'm keeping those videos going for you guys as best I can. I have so many backlogged, I don't even think you guys understand. Like, at least like 45 videos that I just have sitting on my computer that I haven't even edited yet. Like, that's how bad this is, guys. And yeah, I hope that all this was helpful. I tried to make it as concise and, you know, helpful as possible. We all know that my brain is like taking tangents like crazy all the time, and yeah, so hopefully this video doesn't end up too long. I really hope not. Itchy ear. Yes, anyway, I thank you guys for sticking around this long. I hope again that this did something for you, and hopefully I'll be getting a review video out shortly after we end D23. So if you guys have any questions, if you guys want to leave a comment below, please do so, because I want to hear from you guys. And definitely make sure you let me know what you guys want to hear at D23, or what you think they're going to talk about at D23. Are you guys going? Am I going to see you there? If so, let me know. I'd love to meet you guys. And yeah, so Right now, I bid you adieu.
Bye.
If you didn't know, well, now you know. Also, I've talked to a lot of my friends, and a lot of them have said that I really downplay myself when I get in front of a camera, and I guess I didn't realize that. So I'm trying to be a little more like myself and a little more open. I'm really just weird. I don't know how to explain it. I just jump into voice characters all the time, and I don't know, I feel like I'm annoying mostly, and yeah. I just really overanalyze everything I say when I get in front of a camera, so I'm trying to be as like smooth flowing as possible and hopefully not too weird, but I know that I tend to be boring in front of a camera, but everyone says I'm super entertaining in person. They're like, why do you not do that in front of the camera? I don't know, I think I just freeze up. I get really nervous in front of a camera. I don't know what to tell you. So hopefully this is not gonna be too informational and too boring for you guys. I love every single one of you guys. You guys are awesome, major support system, and I cherish every single one of you. All right, bye guys.